Welcome back to another episode of the Savvy Founder podcast. Today, I would love to dive in and really talk about some of the things that I think oftentimes go unspoken when it comes to motherhood and entrepreneurship, and how I really have learned to navigate this, and my biggest lesson to take away from this. So for those of you who are new to the podcast episode, I'm pretty new in my journey into motherhood, I would say. My baby's not yet a year old, and because I had my business beforehand, I don't know what it was like to start a business from scratch with a baby. Needless to say, there are lots of beautiful moments, but there also are challenges. And whenever we are really set on getting to whatever your next level is in business, there will be things that will challenge you. And I feel like motherhood has been a great teacher for me in really reflecting back areas that I can still improve or areas that I'm really rocking it, which is something that I want to dive into with this episode. Okay, I'm going to start with a little bit of a story from yesterday and go from there. Yesterday, I was joking in a group chat that I'm in, and it was that yesterday I had so many ideas come to me. It was like I had clarity on things that I want to do with my community, really things that I'm excited about sharing. And I don't know about you, but when I'm in this state of, I have this idea, I'm the person who loves to just run with it. Okay, what can I do now? How can I start to incorporate this? All of that. And yesterday was really funny because my little one, she is currently heavy in her teething state, and sleep was not something that she was interested in. And so I remember thinking earlier in the day, I was like, okay, once she goes down for a nap, I have my whole game plan. It's going to happen, right? I was prepared. And as the day goes on, it becomes 2 becomes 3 becomes 4 becomes 5. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay, we're going to be losing daylight probably in a matter of a few hours. I'm not sure if this is going to happen today. And typically, outside of the normal, just, I think, exhaustion that people can feel where it's okay, it's been a long day and a break would be nice. What normally would happen for me is a feeling of frustration that I'm not able to do what I know, because this is something that I think is actually quite fascinating. Is I remember phases in business where I didn't know what my next step would be. Like I wasn't quite sure on the action I needed to take. And so it was like I was constantly looking for, what do I need to do? And currently I feel like I'm in an opposite phase where I actually know what I need to do. It's more about like, okay, as I transition into now this phase of knowing what to do, but trying to figure out how to make it work, I want to highlight a couple of things for you, because one of the main focuses I have is, how do I make the solution work for me? How do I use my current situation as the fuel that I need to knock this out of the park, to do it in a way that literally no one else can do it? And I really like taking on this like playful idea. And the reason I do that is for a couple of reasons. For one, if you are the type of person, if you are anything like me, like very ambitious, very driven, even when you become a mother, that part of you does not go away. Like I still have massive goals. I still want to do things. And if anything, right now, I have even more motivation to get them done, because I can't wait to show her what is possible. And so being in this phase, it's made me really reflect on, how do I respond to things that aren't working in the moment exactly the way that I think. And something that it has taught me is that sometimes when we have moments that aren't going as planned, we allow those areas to trickle into other areas. So say a day where you're not sleeping, or if it was a rough morning, or, there wasn't a nap time, those are things that, they can throw you off, and it can be your evidence that you see for why it's not working in your favor. But something that I've really learned to tap into is to find ways to get my nervous system to relax, because there was a feeling that would come up in those moments of, okay, I'm not in control. this is happening to me versus me being in the seat of I am the CEO of my business. I am in the driver's seat. Everything that's happening around me is what's happening in the passenger seat of the car. This analogy hits so hard. Oh my gosh. Okay. So the way that I think of it is like all the uncontrollable things, they're happening in the car with me, but I'm the one who's driving. And so you could have a passenger who's absolutely losing their crap. They're having the worst day ever. But the question is, are you going to allow that to keep you from getting where you want to go? Because technically they're not the one who has the steering wheel. They're not the one whose foot goes on the gas or the brake. That's me. I am the driver. And so what I did is I've been learning to really lean into surrendering in this process of, okay, if it's not working for this moment, that's okay. There's another moment coming. And when that moment comes, my biggest role is to make sure I am ready and I'm going to seize the moment. Seize the moment. However you say that. I'm going to seize the moment. And I've been anchoring into this belief that as long as I am constantly able to course correct, no matter what comes up as distractions, whatever comes up as, oh, look, oh, that could be is that a barrier? What I've been doing is focusing on how do I course correct? And the quicker I can course correct, the more easier I will create my win. For you listening to this, I really want this to sink in. Don't use what's going on around you as evidence for what's possible. Allow yourself to find where can you course correct. Maybe it's something different that you need to do. Maybe it works out for you another way. So for me this morning, because we went to bed so early, because yesterday sleep was not a thing, I woke up this morning at 5 full of energy. Like I'm not a morning person, and I woke up and I was just like, let's go. I filmed some content and I was on with my day and I seized the moment. I didn't allow what happened yesterday to make me wake up and think, oh my gosh, yesterday was a crazy day. I didn't get anything done that I wanted to get done. Woe is me. I am not a victim in my business. I am not a victim in motherhood. And I think when we really take ownership of we are still in the driver's seat, it just might look differently. Maybe now you have a passenger and that requires you to stop at more rest stops on your cross-country road trip. Okay, then stop, but you're still getting there. Don't let driving through one bumpy city or one city that had a traffic jam just make you say, oh, actually where I'm trying to go, the destination I picked is actually not worth the effort, because if I was meant to get to that destination, what that means is that my path would have been seamless. I would not have hit traffic. This is how I know that this is not happening for me. No. What happens is that you become more resilient over time. People talk about resilience and it always sounds so simple. And in my experience, it's actually in the moment, it feels like you are strengthening yourself. You are becoming stronger. I am becoming stronger. Being a mother is whatever is your biggest challenge is what's strengthening you. It's helping you form into being the person who can have what you really want in a way that only you can. And that's my biggest takeaway. And this is not designed to be a long episode. It's really just to get to the point. And I really hope that you're able to anchor this in, because when you're able to leverage this, and I want you to really pick up on what I'm really talking about is both mindset and nervous system regulation. And of course, action has to happen. My mindset is that I am winning. I identify as a person who wins. When something happens and it's not me winning, I'm like, how else, where my win is around here? I just haven't seen it yet, but it's coming. And I allow myself to feel safe even in the midst of chaos. That's the nervous system regulation. And if you're curious what I do for nervous system regulation, so one of my favorite ways to do nervous system regulation is actually through breath work, connecting with my body. I also, you probably know this if you follow me on Instagram, I'm a sucker for nature. If I can get out and hike and move my body, feel exhausted and energized at the same time, I'm rocking and rolling, because it connects me back to I am powerful. I can do things even if they're not easy. So with that, I actually want to announce something that's pretty crazy. I'm really excited about it. For the month of June on the podcast, I'm doing something that I'm so stoked about, and I'm really excited to be sharing this with you. Is this: when you share the podcast episode to your Instagram stories and tag me at Essentially Janae, you will receive collapse time for free, which is crazy. It was an incredible program. I ran it about a week and a half ago, all on how you can start to get time back from your business. As we're going into the summer months where I know you have goals, you have weddings, you have events that you're going to, it's time for you to really start experiencing the freedom that you intended to have with your business. So I decided to do this crazy thing, and I'm really excited because I know that this will change so many lives. Where when you share an episode to your Instagram, tag me, that's important, at Essentially Janae, and this will be in the show notes, you will receive collapse time for free. So with that, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Savvy Founder podcast, and I will see you back here next week. Stay savvy.